of you folks once again in the spirit of Aloha Honua. Mahalo.
Aloha mai. Welcome to the TCBS weekly seminar. My name is Anuhea, and I will be introducing our keynote speaker for today, Dr. Manulani Aluli Myers. Born to Emma Aluli and Harry Meyer, Dr. Meyer is a product of Mokapu, Kailua, and Hilo Paliku. Dr. Meyer is an esteemed scholar of Indigenous education, an author, and a worldwide keynote speaker. She obtained her doctorate in philosophy of education with a thesis on Native Hawaiian epistemology, contemporary narratives from Harvard University, and has since been an influential figure in Indigenous academia. While abroad in Aotearoa, she founded the He Waka Hiringa Masters of Applied Indigenous Knowledge Program at Te Wanaha o Aotearoa, recognized as the first international Indigenous Masters program in the world. The summation of her educational background and her experience as a wilderness educator, a volleyball coach, a wahine kale pohaku, and a haku ho'oponopono has made Dr. Meyer an integral community resource. As the Director of Indigenous Education at UHS Oahu and the Konohiki of Kulana'o Kapolei of Hawaiian Place of Learning, she spearheaded many projects such as the Niu Now movement and the Ulu project, which works towards addressing key issues on social equity and community food security in Hawaii. When asked what she thought was her most important role, she said, "My role is to uplift and affirm each individual's gift. This is the noahuna of Owomo Kuleana, or collective transformation through individual excellence." So with that, let us open up ourselves to her words and ike and welcome Dr. Manulani Aluli Meyer.
Kugulu puakai, ma'alihilani kai, kulalani kahiko kai, elo o lalo ikavayo kulani hakoi. Kulu kulu mai la ua, ha veve mai la ua, loku mai la ua, e o loko lalo nei. I kupua mu o mai la, mu o alaula mai la, lau alala mai la, la kumu mai la, kumu apa ainole. Ua ikea. Anuhea, thank you for that. Drew, thank you for that. What a memory. What a memory that was 2 years ago. One adjusts when you have 200 or 300 little ones, throwing spitballs at you. It was the best. That was the best La Honua experience of my life, Drew. So UH and HCC and all the beloveds in Hilo, you guys have always got it going on. So congratulations on the Ike Kupuna and the Ike Aina and the Ike Nahi Nahi. That is you, Gail Makuakande, and Kuki Puka, and all what you guys do over there. I'm so inspired. So here we go. Ever since I left Hilo, okay, I live in the Aina Vela lands. How's that true? Aina Vela, no more water. Okay, I'm a mo'o. So when a mo'o comes to the Aina Vela, what do you do? You pay attention to what is there. And I have to tell you, I feel like the luckiest girl to have gone from Hilo Paliku and beloved Hilo One, to the Aina Vela of Waianae, Nanakuli, Kapolei, and now I live up in Palihua. And Palihua is like Hilo. I've been very, very spoiled. And in this time now, I believe I've come here to Oahu to do this work. And for the next Lisa, how much time do I have? Like 45 minutes? Can you help me just say Manu, or just a beep, or somebody do something? Because I don't have my clock with me. Okay. Oh, good. Okay. Okay, you guys, see this image? This is at Kalailoa. This was a beautiful, beautiful ono place of our people. Little bay. And there's industry all around there now. There's industry. And these are coconuts that are very rare. They're very rare. They're very small. They're the kind we go, the oi kind. And so we are working to develop ourselves through understanding about Niu. And Niu, of course, is our coconut, our beloved coconut. So let's jump in, shall we? Because I want you all to experience something a little different, because the coconut is really, really an amazing resource for our peoples. Okay, let's begin. That is the Niu. And I'm learning to call it cultural agroforestry. Just gotta make it up. Are you guys? Make it up well. That's my motto. Because it's time to grow our native trees, but our native trees that have food. Ulu is now a big, it's on people's menus now. We have to have more relationships with our ulu, but our Niu, come on. Now, how does this reflect Hawaiian ways of thinking? Hold on. It's as if it's before us this whole time. And that is our own healing process. But we've got to start with what's here. And when you start with what's here, La Honua then gets activated into a way of being that allows us to have a relationship with our Aina again. And when we do, the party's on. The party is on. The paina is on. Okay, now that's the inside of a coconut on fire, okay? So we've got so many ways to use our beloved Niu. And I put that on because I want to read the abstract for this talk, because it is exactly what we're trying to do in the world. That Indigenous epistemology grows directly and infinitely from the natural world. Okay, if you want to sum up Hawaiian ways of thinking, it's aloha aina and aina aloha. I know, that's why I did it, Drew. They're all little budding epistemologists at age 8. You know what I mean? Never too early to get them drilled in. The notion of knowledge production and exchange is a vibrant, mutual causal event found in context and relationality, not simply in isolation within the laboratory setting. So you budding scientists out there, you've got to realize that our ike kupuna, our kilo hana practices, our aloha aina practices, of course, you know them as science. But now we have to bump up the quality of how we express that knowing into a vocabulary that people can understand. So we can't use our language to separate us anymore. We have to use our language to invite, to clarify, to illuminate, and to include, okay? Because we mutually evolve. We mutually evolve. You don't just go by yourself because you're such a badass, la 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 la. You gotta bring people with you. Okay, everybody? We all go, or the saying goes, or nobody goes. Okay? So it's not, don't be thinking you're so hot because this, that, whatever it is. Auntie Manu's here to tell you it's mutual causal agency, okay? And so it's time to step beyond mainstream scientific methods to explore meaning making and cultural empiricism that teaches us to learn from land and not simply about land. My friend is Greg Kahete, and he wrote Native Science, and he's the one that really made that very clear in that book and in my friendship with him. When you learn from land, you're not taking, you're evolving with, and that is what Indigenous knowledge and is bringing to the planet. And other people can do that too. We have to bring those practices forward. And did you look at the word cultural in front of empiricism? Yeah. Have you ever seen that before? I don't think so, because I just made it up, because everything is made up. Just so you know, everything. And that's the philosophy of hermeneutics that states every law, every book, every history, everything, even science, is someone's interpretation. Now, when you really get that, then we can really start to collectively transform ourselves from the inside, so we can have the courage to actually express ourselves outwardly. So I put the word cultural in front of empiricism because I was walking down the street in Hilo one day, and I was walking with 2 friends from California, and I heard Omakalapua playing, right? Omakalapua uluma ie. Okay, so I'm hearing that song. What comes to my eyes? Tears. I'm crying because it's Kamakaeha's, it's our Queen's name song. Okay, it's Queen Liliuokalani's song. So I'm crying, and my California friends are like, Manu, why are you crying? You know what I mean? I'm like, because it's Omakalapua. And of course, my ears are my senses are shaped by my culture. Duh. So you got to put cultural empiricism in there because, I mean, like there's so many examples. I go to Iowa and I look at all these green stalks and I think they're corn, right? And I go, what's that, uncle? And uncle goes, hey, Manu, you don't know what that is? Corn, you Lolo. And the corn is written, it needs calcium, it's watering, and then we're going to pull it in 2.5 weeks. I'm like, whoa, that's a lot of knowledge. So his seeing is shaped by that specificity of place. Now that is an idea. So just learn from that, because empiricism, we don't all see the same ocean. We certainly don't all see the same land. We see specific things based on even on our gender. So understand that the nuance of our seeing, our smelling, our touching, our feeling, our everything is shaped by our culture. So don't be afraid to put cultural empiricism in front of that word. Empiricism, science, and the predictability of science has been, it's time now to help science evolve. Okay, everybody? Come to learn what the philosophy of continuity has to do with coconuts. Okay, so everyone goes, Indigenous, how do we make the university more Indigenous, okay? Gail has been at it. We've been at it for what? Almost 40 years, Gail Makuakani, London, 40 years. That's almost a whole cow. Yeah, 38. Yeah, I love that you said that. That's amazing, Gail. That is so amazing. So Gail and I, she was there when I started in 1985 or 86. It was such a beautiful time there. So Indigenous, everyone thinks Indigenous is a racial distinction. No, it's a spatial one. Okay, you guys? Indigeneity, when we're talking about people of place, we're talking about how those people of place continue to live there. Okay, so it's a synonym for continuity. So Indigenous epistemology is a synonym for continuity. What makes sense based on that area? Ta-da! Okay, that's simple. But what is it? Okay, what is it? That it is the philosophy of continuity. So, for instance, if no more electricity, look at the light. I know we have our kukui, but how many of you have really tried to crack to make those kukui, those lamakus? They're pretty hard. You know what I mean? Those lamakus. Yeah, Drew, have you ever tried to make them? Oh my gosh, they're hard. Yeah, no, they're hard. No, it's just getting all that kukui. It's just beautiful. But there, look, that's the inside of a mature coconut. So there's so much to teach each other about the Niu. Let's go. So this talk is about cognitive justice. Make no bones about it. When we rise with our cultural understanding of the world and we walk toward the truth found in Pono, and we do it with a sense of aloha, social justice will equal cognitive justice. That's a new idea for me, cognitive justice. But I think we've been on that path for 40 years plus at UH Hilo and HCC, because we believe and we have evidence and we know in our hearts that the strength and the beauty and the continuity is found in how we see, think, and express ourselves. And that type of knowledge eventually, inevitably allows social justice to bubble up. But and I think it goes simultaneously, okay? And I think that's what many of our programs are aiming for, especially there at Hilo. And this is why I still am connected, because you can't have social justice without cognitive justice. And believe me, gang, the universities and the community colleges are changing. And right now, if those of you are struggling for some reason, it's because people are, they don't want us to go in a certain way. You know what I mean? So just see a skeleton coming out, and as we're leaving the old ways, there's a skeleton coming out and wanting to grab our hands and say, you can't go, but you gotta go, okay? Okay, this is a lot of text. Sorry about this. But I gotta have text, because you guys gotta, I'm gonna send this to you, Lisa, so that you can send this to everybody. So don't take notes, okay? Just feel the energy, because we're focusing here, in my life, I'm focusing on 3 aspects of the Niu, so that people know that we're serious. The Hawaiian cultural revitalization of the Niu. It is a huge idea throughout Moana Nui Akea that coconuts is the #1 food. Yes, we have our kalo, absolutely. But the coconut throughout the Pacific, throughout Oceania, is a flourishing tree of life. And we want that Niu Momona back into our consciousness, okay? And environmental conservation, all you guys in environmental conservation, buck up. It's the first tree to come and the last tree to arrive. So it'll secure our coastlines in ways we don't even understand. So why are we not planting Niu on our coastlines? We can do so much with this in conservation. And of course, what did they put in us in saline in the World War II when we didn't have saline? They put the why Niu, okay? Like the coconut is unbelievably versatile. And it's the why Niu is different from the milk now. You got to know that, okay? The milk is when you squeeze it and it's white. The why Niu is the water you drink immediately, and that is from the green coconuts. And by the way, there's hundreds of varieties of coconuts, okay? Hundreds. Everyone goes, oh, there's more than one variety? Yeah, okay? Here we go. We have lost our authentic relationship with Niu. Coconut palms have been romanticized, exoticized, and are currently considered ornamentals in Hawaii. And, mostly people fear coconuts. Can you imagine? They fear coconuts. How did we get this way? Talk about colonization. We've colonized ourselves. Thank you very much. So I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I love myself. I love myself. I forgive myself. Because, the Hawaii Ag Department still has coconuts as an ornamental. Isn't that amazing? They consider this tree of life the most productive food tree in the world, an ornamental. That happened. So we've got to change that. It's nobody else's kuleana. It's my kuleana. All right? So look at that. And by the way, just all these pictures, don't sit under a coconut tree, okay? All right? #1 rule. I mean, just don't sit under a coconut tree. Sit somewhere else. And then so we can have olives in the coconut trees again. All right. So this is how it started, okay? So Gail, Judy hired this gentleman. His name is Indrajit Gunasekara. Everyone say Indrajit. Indrajit, say it. Indrajit. Don't say jit or NG, okay? His name is Indrajit. Say it. Indrajit. Good, thanks, Drew. Indrajit. Because he's from southern Sri Lanka. Southern Sri Lanka is over here in the world, and Hawaii's over here. Same, whatever. What do you call that? What is that? Longitude, latitude, whatever. It's a word. I should have paid attention in 7th grade. I knew it, Drew. I knew it. So Judy goes, hey, Manu, we both work at UH West Oahu. He's a financial aid advisor. So she goes, Manu, I hired somebody for you. Really? Who? I was coming back from the garden, right? Because I have my classes with Auntie Lynette. She's a wonderful kumu here in the hale, Kuahu Kala. And I come out of the hale, go through the garden, and here is this guy bouncing toward me, grinning, because he's heading to plant, to double dig, or to do something with cassava, uwala. He just wants to help our head gardener, Tasha Yamamura. So I say, who are you? He goes, my name is Indrajit. I'm like, you're who I'm supposed to meet. That was almost 4 years ago. So he's like we're like brothers and sisters. He's like my beloved friend. So I had to ask him to come live with us up in Palihua. You know what I mean? We're serious about this. We're serious. And he's when you meet an Indigenous knowledge holder, it's a thing. Okay, let me tell you, our kupuna were that. I hold that on certain moments of life. But when you see it and feel it, that everything he does is to honor our elders. Everything he does is to honor land. Everything he does is to serve others. It's just, it's like I'm in a room with our elders again, my auntie Aima, in my anti-erm card. And it's something. So so he started feeding us. You know, he came from a tradition, he comes from a tradition where breakfast, lunch, and dinner was coconuts, where the Niu is considered the tree of life, okay? And it's a spiritual experience. When he sees kupuna and he hasn't seen a long time, these kupuna throw a coconut in front of him, and it bursts out with the type of joy that kupuna have when they see their youngins come home. And that form of ritual he still has in his heart. So we eat coconuts, some form of milk or meat every dinner. And I got to tell you, it's changed my life. Absolutely changed my life. So Indrajit, we're like the yin and yang, because he's the knowledge keeper, and I'm the person that goes, go brother, go. And we make a great team. So it began with Indrajit and teaching me and many others about the Niu. And then with me, because I remember, Gail, if you remember, years ago, I used to say, and people used to always laugh. You know how, I can get going, Drew, so I'm in this audience, right, talking about the Hawaiian this or that or whatever. And I'm saying, hey, if Hawaii get coconuts in the coconut trees, we're going to be okay. And everyone would laugh. But I really meant it. I really did. And now, 20 years later, I'm with someone, and I'm not saying our Hawaiians don't know about coconuts, but yeah, I'm saying we have lost our authentic connection. And yes, our neighbor islands, thank God, have some connection with our coconut. And you guys, we still use it for kulolo, for hopia, whatever we do. So I'm absolutely, but there's something about every single one of, there's just so much science in what Indrajit is teaching us, so much history that I think we've been truncated here on Oahu, because there's no coconuts here. They've all been taken off. And when you don't have coconuts hanging on coconut trees, you cannot have a relationship with the tree of life. So, for instance, Indrajit had a friend in Lanai. He planted this in 2011. This is only 10 years old. Okay, this is a 10-year-old coconut tree. So have you seen coconut trees like this? Everyone just goes, don't go over there. Don't go, you know what I mean? Here it is again, our self-sustained fear and ignorance. So we've got to forgive ourselves and get on we've got to get on with it. Because I want a coconut tree like that. I want to have, because see, the Fibonacci sequence is there. There's a spiral. You can pull one of those sacks every 2 months and have incredible food, incredible liquids, incredible oils. For the rest of it's coconuts 100, 120 years. For the rest of your life, for sure, and the life of your grandchildren. Okay, so this is what changed my life, okay? I'm walking around, with Indrajit, and I go, he comes to my house. I was living in Nu'uanu. He goes, Auntie, did you hear the coconuts telling you a story? And I'm like, this brown coconut's telling me a story. What? It's dead. It's make. It's nothing. You can eat a coconut for about a year, 1 year, 365 days plus, when it looks like that. I'm like, no. What else have I not been taught? What else? I remember when the Hokulea landed in Tahiti. I was in 1976. Big Hokulea lands Tahiti. It just changed my life. What else did they not teach us? Now, Antimano, I'm in a different generation, okay, you guys? But there's no excuse for you guys, okay? Because I'm telling you now, the brown coconuts underneath your trees, underneath your naupaka, they get food. And if you go like this and they go, and it has water, that's still, the womb is still ready. We plant those. We plant these coconuts and they sprout. And I'm going to show you our new nurseries. Hey, let's build some new nurseries. Come on, Drew. Come on. Here we go. So even after 1 year, these coconuts were eaten and enjoyed in our home. They are also in the perfect stage to make into new seed nuts to plant. So this is food, everybody. This is food. And then the husks. Oh my gosh, we haven't even got to the husks. Here it is, new mulch magic. I'm calling it climate change planning mitigation methodology. Does that sound good? Yeah, because, you know, I grew up with the coconut husk, as, you know, you put your orchids on it and you slam them in the tree and the orchids get all happy because it pulls out the moisture of hilo. So now we're using it in our Aina Vela, our hot lands. You really soak the and you cut it so there's more surface area to get wet. But they act as natural sponges, and you put them in the ground, wet, and you put the soil on it and mulch, and it acts as it keeps it moist. You don't even have to water your plant for a month. And I'm telling you, here in the hot lands of Eva, I'm going to show you what we're doing over here, and it's going to blow your mind. Because, you know, everyone thinks, nothing grows over here, you know. Hey, it's dry land farming, okay? It's not supposed to be, you know, we're not supposed to grow like lettuce and kale. We're growing the hardy trees. We're in the tropics. Come on. So let's grow some different kind, kumula'au. So here's Indigit. Oh, Auntie, look there. I go, wow, you got to clean that bugger. So this is in our beautiful and beloved Ka'ala. And we got to take care of our trees. Okay, that's even a Niuli. That's even a dwarf. So take care of our trees, you guys. And watch what happens. See, now that tree get choked, what do you call it? Ants. So our Niu along the Waianae coast, they're sickly. They're sickly. And now we're taking care of them. And I believe in another generation, after we've flooded the market. We've given it out, and we've given coconuts for others to care for. That healthy seeds are going to be healthy, and I believe coconuts will once again populate our beloved Hawaiian places. Here's Indrajit being super, new nerdy, and he's now getting his master's. Noah Lincoln is his advisor, and lucky duck Noah, and so he just loves to. Those are 4 different varieties. You can tell by looking at it. And I mean, I couldn't really tell by looking at the outside, but the inside you can tell. Isn't that beautiful? And so once you start to realize that there's many different varieties of Niu, you kind of like, wow, how come I never noticed that one's orange over there? That one's a little bit orange brown over there. That one's huge, So it's our interest that he's bringing back with joy, passion, and consideration. It's our interest. Okay, so this is what happened. The Pacific, remember what's that big Pacific Arts Festival? Is that the Pacific Arts Festival? It was a huge event that was coming to Oahu. And thousands, 10,000 of our peoples from all sorts of Chuk, Micronesia, Marshall Islands, Tahiti, Tonga, Rarotonga, Samoa, they were all coming. And so we were going to have a big event because I want to see, being the Maho'oi maven that I can be, I wanted to see how the Tongans, what they did, how do they do it? How do they weave, do this? I was just really fascinated. So they let us, not that we were doing it anyway, but we had the Fisherman's Wharf, you guys. Can you imagine that, Gail? Fisherman's Wharf, we had the whole place. And we're going to have it for a huge all-day event. And weaving, mo'olelo, husking, cooking, oil making, etc. It was a festival, Niu Now. So that's why Niu Now started. And so we had to cancel it, of course. And it was to my last day. I was like, and then you got to cancel it. Yeah, you got to let it go. Like, you got to let it go. And so then we started. Then it was Chelsea Onaga of Ma'o Farm. She goes, well, let's do webinars. I'm like, what? Webinars? Okay. So we had 7 webinars once a month until December. And we had the best. My sister, Miley, said it's like a fire hose of knowledge. Every month we just were like fire hose of knowledge. Because if you know nothing, anything is considered a lot. So we had Vilsoni Heranico talk about his history in Rotuma. And of course, Indrajit was telling stories and giving images. The good thing about webinars is that you can actually share images. Noel Kahanu was speaking about Sam Ka'ai's idea that, you guys, and I just want to say it right now, one of the most negative stereotypes people could say is that you're just a coconut, brown on the outside and white on the inside. And it was Sam Ka'ai in this video that said, you obviously know nothing about the coconut if you're going to say that, because I strive to be a good coconut. Because a good coconut cares for people. A good coconut gives mulch that allows for life. A good coconut gives us oil to live and to be moistened. A good coconut gives us drinks and inu that is healing. A good coconut gives us vinegar, alcohol, sugar. I mean, like, I aspire to be a good coconut. Let us change that thing right now. Okay? So I aspire to be a good coconut. Okay, everybody? Okay, let's repeat after me. I aspire to be a great, thank you, to be a great coconut.
To be a great
Thanks.
coconut.
Yes, thanks you guys, Louisa, thank you. That was fantastic. Because we've got to, that whole crabs in a bucket thing, that we've got to change it all. That Alamihi syndrome, we got to change it all. And Alamihi is the path of forgiveness to me now. Alamihi, the path of enlightened sharing, mihi. So let's change it. We can change it, you guys. And by the way, we're taking Christmas tree orders. Because we're making our Christmas trees out of Niu Now. I mean, it is amazing. Those Christmas trees are beautiful. And so figure out how to make it over there, Hilo. And watch what happens. Everyone is going to go, wow, I want that. And Gail, that's a fundraiser for Kipuka, okay? And Indrajit will fly him over and he'll teach you guys how to make a Christmas tree. It's so cool. So we did that in Christmas, and it stood at my sister's shop in Namea, Hawaii. All right, now let's talk about new nurseries. Now, you will never see this anywhere because nobody actually, everyone goes, oh, good, a coconut's growing, and then just take them. Yeah, they just take them. But no, we can actually plant coconuts. We can actually plant them. And we can plant hundreds of them. All right. So this is our house. And Indrajit throws up the coconut, and it always lands a certain way because the bottom is the heaviest one. The heavy, it lands, and then you cut that top off. You just slice it off, and that it just helps the mu'o, the kupu, to come forward. And within a month, 2 months, they're coming forward. And within I'd say about 8 months to a year, you can give them out to people. And you can give them out, and they're strong. And I got to tell you guys, just so you know, they're $197 at Home Depot. How's that? How's that? And if they're dwarfs, they're $400. Okay. So yeah, Gail, me, I'm always saying, oh, what are you doing? Like, I want to deconstruct capitalism. Nah, I just want to give things away and reconstruct a sharing economy. Okay. So enough of deconstruction. That's so 70s and 80s. Let's reconstruct our society by reestablishing a sharing community. And you guys get them in Hilo, and we get them over here. But I just got to find more people. I'm kind of the new kid on the block. I've been away from Oahu for 40 years. Who's 40 in this audience? Anyways, so I know. Thanks, Drew. Yeah. Okay, so you guys can have a new nursery tomorrow. You got to find those brown coconuts, find if they get water in them, throw it up, cut the, that angle like that, and then just put them in a little bit mulch, and then watch what happens. And then in a year's time, give them away, let the sharing economy continue. Okay, so here's my friend Kawi, okay? Kawi, or Charisse Kawi Sana, she's the Ma'o Farms, Mala'ai Opio. Now, I came to Oahu because the food sovereignty movement is here, and it started in Waianae. And I love those guys. Those guys are amazing. And so Kawi says to me one night, Auntie Manu, we get some coconuts, but husking is a bit of a problem. Can you ask Indrajit if he can teach us how to husk? And Indrajit said, absolutely, yes. So he spent 3 hours with those guys over there. And he brought those coconuts, and those coconuts are in different stages of development. And they had to put youngest to oldest, and they loved it. He taught them how to even climb a tree. We want a coconut climbing school at my house. So you can't be old and footless. You can't, I want you young and courageous. So we want kids. We want kids to want to climb trees again. So here's Kawi. She goes, I've always dreamed of having a new grove again. And she goes, okay, I'll grow you coconuts. So we mutually merge. And so what happened is, a year later, we gave them 220 coconuts. I think there were 20 or 18 varieties. And they had like 12 of their mature Kama'aina interns, or, farm manager interns, come, and they sat there for 2 hours and listened to Indrajit. And they were fascinated with the knowledge that was ono for them, ono. But it was the tenderness that we all held for bringing the coconut back to whatnot. Do you get it? Anyways, it was a big deal. It was a big deal. And it's important to know the differences that are coming so that it's respected again. Okay, so this is how it looks like now. So the idea is 220 Niu went in, and in 10 years, 5 years, 5 to 7 years, they'll start producing. But the Aina Momona, the Niu Momona, the whole Ulula Hui, it's happening. It's really happening. But we've got to do it. So that's what it looks like now. And once you get it established like it is, they're going to grow. Coconuts are so resilient. And then Arbor Day. Oh, let's just colonize Arbor Day differently, shall we? Let's just keep giving like you guys do in Hilo. But over here in Oahu, Arbor Day is, really lots of different kind of plants. But I want to give ulu and niu and puakeni and those kind of plants so that we can have a relationship again with our kanaka, kumu kanaka. Okay, so you see that ulu tree? That's what it looks like now. Okay, so when you bring out and you mulch and you moisten, the roots get to go out. And oh my gosh, it's so Aina Momona now. That's at UH West Oahu, next to where we're planting. That's how our Niu are going to look in 3 years. That's just 3-year-old Niu. That's amazing to me. Okay, so this is what we started at UH West Oahu. We put in 600 Niu seed nuts, 28 varieties. And it's an Aina Vela place, you guys. This is an old sugarcane field. And Mainette Benham is our beloved chancellor, and she's given us 11,000 acres. You know why? Okay, you're going to laugh at this, Gail. Okay, and Michelle, you're going to laugh. They saw us with Auntie Lynette. We were all walking to the ravines, the gulches, okay? And we're singing to the gulches because, we get 2 gulches, right? It's small kind, Kalo'i and Hune Hune. And because I'm in the long range planning committee, I learned that they're not going to plant, they're not going to touch the gulches. Those gulches are going to stay in perpetuity as a natural element of our campus, right? I'm like, all right, so Indrajit, I call them Indrajit. They're not going to touch the gulches. Yay! Okay, let's plant everything. Let's go in there and plant. So we're going over there and we're doing, with Kukui's there at the, for my friend Ma'o Farms. She bring the ulu, we get the niu, we get the cuckoo, we get the red hala. We're ready to go. And we're singing our song of gratitude. And someone says, well, yeah. And then we got a memo in the email I did. And it said, Manu, you can't just plant trees in the gulch. I'm like, why not? You guys aren't using it. So they said, no, you cannot. And then, so we said, okay. So then they gave us 11,000 acres right next to the mala. So we're official. Yay. Yay. I knew I forgot something. I forgot to ask. So the thing about you know, the where they gave us was really, they compacted it, and we watched it for 3 years as they rode vehicles over it. And I'm like, they can't possibly give us that land. Well, that's the land we got. And I got to tell you, beggars cannot be choosers, or something like that. And so we just took that land in gratitude and kept mulching for 2 years. We just put mulch and mulch. And you try to mulch when there's the rhinoceros beetle fear mongering stuff going on. We do not want rhinoceros beetle. So we are aware of the dilemma of that. So, it's very different because you can't put the mulch more than 3 inches or whatever. So we had to be very to the requirements. But meanwhile, 3 years later, we've started on December 26th, we started planting. Now there's Indrajit. You see the background. We've done all our holes, and tomorrow is our final planting day. We've got 20 holes, 10 holes for 10 Niu Li'i. We've gotten 4 varieties of Niu dwarfs, and then 4 varieties of our Ulu. And we've worked really hard to make those holes ono. Those holes are ono. And we've planted uwala around them, as you can see, and the Papailau Niu. I'll show you more about that. And now we're giving our Niu that we have found in our journeys, we're giving them out to people who ask. So this young Kanaka farmer, Mahi'ai, he asked, and Indrajit just had them, and we did a ceremony and gave him over 30 Niu, and we're so happy he's interested and he wants to grow. So there it is. It is taking a village to learn about dryland farming. Our focus, number 1, is soil rejuvenation. That's synonymous with us. We are rejuvenating ourselves with ono ideas, ono soil, ono mulch, and then water conservation. Indrajit comes from a culture that says not 1 drop of water goes to the ocean, not 1. And us, this is what I know about water conservation. When it rains, don't go surfing. You know what I mean? So to have a different form of awareness of conservation of our vite is key as we head into the new, as we head into 2022. Please understand that we can do water conservation much better. And we're talking about trenching and building systems in a more creative way. But mostly for me, it's about relationality with Aina, with others, with self, and with plants. You know what I mean? With plants, with Meyer. So, and once you have that capacity to know, the Mohalo moon, we're planting tomorrow. How's that, you guys? So we've just learned so much in this process. But you see that is only 1 whole. That is 1 whole that's going to nurture our Niu. And so one of the main things we're doing is developing a Papailau Niu. And that is shelters, because the wind, 10 to 15 miles, it's hot out there. It's hot. And our Niu and our Ulu that we've planted thus far, they so enjoy the little care that they're receiving, both in the nurturing that we gave them in the planting and the initial watering, and then that Papailau Niu. We're weaving it. This is Indrajit's weaving. He's so happy with that. Can you tell? And then the stumps. Let's talk about stumps. Okay, you guys. If you know some people, those are 60, 65-year-old Niu. They were coming down from the Kunia Palms over in Waipahu. And I got a call and someone said, hey, we hear you're into coconuts. I'm like, yeah. You want 10 coconuts? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And so you know what we're going to do with them, you guys? You see the on the bottom right side? We made a wall for the nursery at my house. So we made a wall, and we're also going to make ihe. And by the way, ihes, the spears, became o'os, the digging sticks during times of lono. So we're gonna also make ihe and o'os. There's so much we can do with stumps. So this is happening. This was happening. So in order to understand the activating principle of our Niu or of any native plant, you've got to just be happy about the potential of what it means to our lahui, what it means to our community. So Indrajit goes, Auntie, let's have a real work day. And I'm thinking, 6 hours isn't enough. No, we work for 12 hours. Okay. And we had a blast. There's the moon. Can you see the moon there? That's the moon setting in the west. So we went from moon set to moon rise. And it was like a party, and there's Uncle said, what do you guys need? We say bread. So he makes bread, beautiful sourdough, and we put ono grinds in there. And there's Auntie BJ Kahawai weaving Lau Niu, Papa'i Lau Niu. And, we got there at 6 o'clock in the morning and there's 8 cars waiting for us. Like, how's that? How's that? So this is what I learned about the word konahiki. I'm called the konahiki. I did name myself that because my family is of the konahiki class. We were the konahiki over in Waialoa area years and years and generations ago. So I learned, thank you, Carlos Andrade, that konahiki means to invite willingness. You get hikia, hikino, to invite willingness. How else would we have done the mythic, magical, amazing projects that our kupuna were able to accomplish? Do we enslave people? No, I mean, not really. But the idea of konahiki is to invite willingness. So people are coming. And they're grateful that we have this opportunity. And see the bottom image? That was like at 7:30 in the morning. There's that many people there. And we had like 60 people. I'm like, did you sign in? Lumisite, did you sign in? Put your mask on, do this, do that. We're doing our best to be safe and secure in this time of pandemic, but people are really sick of staying at home. And for some reason, they really want to make food for us and they want to help. And tomorrow is our last planting day. By the way, you guys, when you taste wine new, when you taste the actual freshness of water and put it in the refrigerator, make it a little cool, I like it. It'll change your life. What really changed my life is Indrajit making milk about 3 years ago. You take the meat out and you scrape it. There's a scraper, and then like ava, you just twist it and you make the milk. He made the milk for me, put a little pakai inside, and I drank it and I absolutely cried. If you have tasted fresh coconut milk with just a pinch of pakai, you too will cry, because it is ono. And fresh wine new does not taste like the kind inside the bottles or the cans. There's nothing like it. So I want this for you guys. I want this for Hawaii again. I do. And that's why I'm dedicated to this Ho'oulu Lahui movement, because children come and enjoy themselves. They say, Auntie, I'm going to change my whole schedule so I can come next time. I'm like, okay, baby, you're 8 years old. What kind of schedule you get? Oh, I'm busy. I'm going to go to the beach. You know what I mean? I mean, they all tell me they're going to come. They're going to come. They're going to come again. You want your kids to come. You don't want to drag them. You want them to choose to come. And that is the i'ini of our times. Ho'i ho'i kamole. Return to the source. Of course, the source is our ohana. But for me, ho'i ho'i kamole is the source inside of you, your i'ini, your passion, your joy. Return to that, touch that, share that, and watch our lahui rise. Okay, can you tell? This is Indrajit. He's goofy unhappy here because my partner forced us to talk about our mission statement and our goals and objectives, but it's a great mission statement. We envision Niu as a relationship rooted in community and aloha aina. Isn't that amazing? And Niu Now will strengthen Oceania's connection and aloha for cultural food sovereignty. By building on neonate practices to heal ourselves, our future is transformed. Isn't that cool? Yeah. So yeah, and Manu Singh of Purple Maya. So do you understand? Purple Maya, all these guys, they're coming and helping us. So thank you for stepping forward. because the energy of our future is about mutual emergence and radical collaboration. People are actually stepping forward to help us. There's Mahila Pierre. He's our apu maker. He makes apus. And do you see that the original, the first picture that I showed you with all those coconuts, that's that image. And this is what we're doing. We're going to plant hundreds of coconuts again in this area. We can do this. We can do this, gang. We so can do this. But you've got to understand that where we're at, forgive, and get back on the kini popo of a relationship with our Niu. So that's our logo. And I think it's even up and running, niunow.org. I don't use a computer for websites, but I think it's on. I think it's happening. And Indrajit said, Auntie, give them my email. So if you want to contact a coconut head, please, Indrajit at hawaii.edu. All right. Indrajit at hawaii.edu. We want to come to Hawaii Island and check out some groves and find the Niu Afa and the Niu Hiva and the rest of the coconuts we're naming because of our relationships we're having. And I'm really excited about the future of Niu because it helps me heal and helps me develop my own efficacy in feeding our peoples. And when you can feed others, in the ways that help them heal, that is where the party's at for me nowadays. And that is what education, and that's where I'm interested. Oh no, Drew, did you put niunow.org? Okay, all right. Check it out, you guys. Well, can't really figure out how to get on that thing. I mean, and try to fix it, but I think it's up and running. And we do need help. Anybody want to help make us a 501c3 so we can, Indrajit, he's doing 2 full-time jobs, and he is needed to spearhead the Niu Now movement. So anyways, that is my 2 cents of Niu Now. And I saw your questions. Your questions were kind of hard, you guys. So yeah, go ask Indrajit. I'm just a cheerleader, okay? So and I everybody needs a cheerleader, but the science, now remember, don't make the coconut only about science. We have to make the coconut about our relationship with the Niu. So when you do science, you have to include it being grounded in your relationship with the Kumu La'au. Thanks, Michelle. Good to see you too, Michelle. Yeah, thanks. So, ha'ina mai kapuana. Aloha mai. Thanks everyone for being here. Any questions? I mean, ones that I can handle. Oh, John and Ginger are here? No. John, Ginger, where'd you go? Wow, Louisa. Thank you, Louisa. Thank you, everybody. John, yay. Celia, thanks, Celia. It's so good to see you. You guys, it's like really a homecoming to be back at UH Hilo. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity to be with you. Really appreciate this, Lisa, Drew, Gail. Thank you. Sonia, is that you, Sonia?
What a great wrap up.
Good to see you, Sonia.
We have a tradition that we like to do for all our guest speakers. And so we'd like to have everybody unmute yourself and say mahalo at the count of 3. So 1, 2, 3.
Mahalo.
Mahalo nui.
Mahalo nui.
Darlene, Auntie Darlene, yay. Bye, Tim. Oh, wow, you guys, thank you so much. Aloha huiho.
Aloha.
Bye, Leilani. Bye, Whitney. Bye, Tim. Aloha huiho.
Thank you.
Bye, John. Bye, you guys. Thanks, Drew.
Bye.
Bye, Gail.
Aloha.
Love you, Sam.
Aloha,
Love you, Sam.
aloha.
Bye, Sonia. Happy weekend, everybody.
You
Oh,
too.
nice
You
to see
Happy
you.
weekend.
Oh,
It's good to see you, Sonia. It's good to
love
see you.
you.
Oh, love you. Love you.
Love you.
Love you, Sonia. Love you.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Yes.
Good to see you. Really good to see you.
Mm.
Okay, you guys, you got to get off because I'm just going to keep staring at you guys. You know what
Oh, say you hi,
I mean?
Drew.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Drew, for everything.
Thank you, Drew. Congratulations on a rich,
Yeah,
rich,
great job.
fantastic week.
Oh,
Congratulations.
there was a whole bunch of us.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
Mahalo.
Is that Kamu? Kamu.
Go home and sleep.
Oh my goodness. Good to see you. Wow, good to see you. Oh, I like that Yul Brenner look. Yeah. Yeah, aloha mai. Aloha mai. Okay, Kanu Niu Now. Okay, everybody. Yeah, hilo no ko'oi. Love you guys. Love you.